person doing last time this time is going to be a Brian.
Oh, me.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I did
Well,
actually say that. So.
it's been a couple of weeks and I've been busy.
Oh, I know. I know.
So my brain is going.
At least
Well,
you should have memories of the last session because important things happened.
yeah, I remember the important parts at least. So, where last we left off, we were still at that Temple of Helm. We had gone in to talk to the dwarf who currently has possession of Silver's old sword. We chatted with him for a while. Mostly I chatted with him for a while because everyone else is either an NPC or an introvert. I'm feeling this on two different campaign fronts now, but anyway. And after
We all just love your voice.
I mean, I'm
Don't worry,
flat.
eventually we'll get Silver back and she'll be your face man again.
Don't worry, eventually Byron will mysteriously remember he's a face.
Anyway, so however, as the discussions were proceeding, there was some mounting tension between Riven and everyone else in the group that eventually culminated in Locke deciding to say "fuck it," bite the bullet, and things escalated into almost sort of a fight, but with an just deluge of paladins and clerics from the temple. It wound up not coming to blows. And at long last, the axes that have been slowly killing Riven ever since we got them, who fucking knows how long ago, were successfully removed from her person, and I'm pretty sure we broke the attunement.
Who said they were killing her?
I mean, what other conclusion was I supposed to draw?
They were enhancing her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let me put it to you this way. If you take too many steroids, eventually you're going to overdose and die.
No, you just take more steroids to offset the death effects.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I have heard in weeks. And
Fair,
I
I'll
run
break
another
that.
D&D game.
You're welcome.
Jesus Christ, Kenneth.
This character should be dumb. I'm writing this down.
Anywho, it did come to blows. An invisible nose flick and a punch to the face.
Yeah. I meant like fatal blows.
Yeah, I know. I was just making an effort to point out the random. I'm going to flick you in the nose with an invisible mage hand, and then, well, I'm going to punch you in the face and miss because God.
It involved a femme fatale. Does that count?
What?
I mean, technically
No,
it did,
no.
yeah. Anyway.
Deadly lady?
Okay. But yeah. So following all of that, Riven got carted off to a cell for a while the clerics and the paladins did their thing. And the rest of us, I don't know. We kind of skimmed over what happened in the aftermath because we'd been going for a long time and people needed to sleep. So,
Yes.
So that's where
Yeah.
we'll start off. We'll be like, she gets carted off.
I believe where last Locke left off, he was hugging the dog because that was a lot.
Yeah. Hollis was not particularly happy about losing Mama, or at least appearing to lose Mama.
I don't think anyone was particularly happy. It was a very, very unhappy day.
Yes. Which, on that, as I recall, I think I had said that the time in which that you guys were in the temple, or had come to the temple initially, was sort of kind of close to evening. I can't remember exactly what timeline I had it was.
I thought we camped it out and then we went in the
We
morning.
camped outside and we went in the
Right.
morning, so this would still be like late morning to noon at this
Gotcha.
point.
Okay. Yeah. I knew that at some point there was a time, right, because you did the camp out at night and then went in the morning because Riven saw the ghost thing. Right. Okay. I knew that. Smart. So you Riven gets carted off. Unbeknownst to Locke and Byrn, technically, she would was being dealt damage and was passed out. So by the time she got to the cell, or well, shortly after being in the cell, she was completely knocked unconscious.
She took a nap.
Yeah, a
Supposedly.
very hard nap. And the clerics, being clerics, were able to tell that she was being dealt damage, basically, and with all the other stuff going around, they made sure she was not becoming the dead. That would not be good. So Riven is currently unconscious but not dying, thanks to spare the dying and whatnot.
Chained up in the jail. Chained up in a jail cell.
Yep. You are in fact chained up in a jail cell and unconscious. You will be unconscious for effectively. I think the
The
terminology
next 3
is
sessions.
no. I think the terminology is if you are knocked unconscious by being out at 0 hit points, you can effectively either wake up in an hour as if it was a short rest and get some HP back, therefore be awake, or you can wake up with full health in 8 hours because full rest. So, either way, Riven's going to be in the jail cell for a while. Whether she's unconscious the entire time that she's in that jail cell, at least for now, we don't know. Byrn, Locke, and Oak are still outside. Seeing as it was a verbal-based, primarily, confrontation, you are not in any kind of trouble among Helm. So at least you're not getting harsh looks from the guards. What is getting harsh looks from the guards, though, is the axes. At least
We should invite them to attune to them for a while and use them to kill some things, and just see how that works.
I don't think that's gonna go over well. They would know better than that. So, the guards are pretty much letting you three do as you wish to do at the current moment. And you did roll a handle animal previously to, basically maintain that Hollis isn't too crazy upset. Although technically Sam controls Hollis more than I do. But, yeah. So, yeah. That is where you are at. Riven is carted off. Easy enough to assume probably a cell of some kind. And you three are left to do with what you want.
I mean, Locke still just has his face buried in Hollis's fur at the moment, so he's oblivious. So,
Yay! So Byron, what you doing?
See,
do something, man. You've been a wallflower the last several sessions.
Yes.
I've actually had plans, and they have been thwarted by some meddling kids. I was actually going to, in preparation for this, go back and like re-listen and take notes. That's one reason the last session came out so early. And they increased our work. So I will have to let my character sheet do the talking. Let's see. So Oak was present during the entire fiasco, right?
Yes.
Let me mute phone. Stupid
He
phone.
was also present during what the whole fiasco was referring to. Like, in the sense of the lore jump that Byron theoretically could have gotten, Oak has as well.
Right. Well, yeah, we were all present there. So I guess since Locke has his face buried in a puppy, um, and we're not necessarily being like closely guarded, that was mostly for Riven, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. You're being
So,
like watched, but not like escorted.
okay, that's reasonable. So I guess I go up to Oak and sort of nag him for a second. Hey, psst, hey.
Hmm?
Uh, so I got to know a lot more about our friends, uh, very quickly. Still trying to process it all. Um, the one thing that I am certain of is Riven is going to need to vent and is probably going to need support. And because the confrontation was between her and Locke, I'm afraid that while he would normally be the first person I would recommend because it's obvious how close they are, might not it might not turn out the best seeing as she may snap to her senses and might not feel happy about how things just went. So I don't know if Locke is in fact the best person for it. What do you think?
Well, I mean, what you say makes sense. It's entirely possible that he's not the best person for her to potentially vent to. But I know that I'm not either. I've made my fair share of mistakes with Riven in the past. So,
Well, I sort of pride myself that I can talk to anyone about anything if I have to. But I know that she didn't really seem to have a whole lot of trust towards me. And that's fair. Trust is to be slowly earned over time. Um, so I don't know that she would be in a hurry to trust me. Mm,
I mean, I want to give it a shot, more power to you. But I don't entirely know what sort of frame of mind she's going to be in after all of this.
See, ultimately, my bag of tricks is not the most useful because she needs to realize that she can stand on her own 2 feet. And charm is not necessarily going to meet that end.
And so, you say bag of tricks, and I guess you want to keep a lot of that close to your chest. I get that. But
Obviously, you've been around you've been around me enough that you've seen that I can work words with people sometimes, but I don't know that that's what this situation needs. I'm pretty sure that would ruin any chance of gaining any sort of trust. I don't really know how I would necessarily initiate that trust. Once she starts talking, I feel like she could just vent, but I don't know how to initiate that.
guess is as good as mine. Honestly,
Hmm.
I've. I mean, you saw in the exchange before, whenever I tried to uh, step in to try to help or try to say something, she just pushed me away. So, honestly, I haven't really. I don't know what her opinion of me specifically is. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I've known her for about as long as she's known Locke, too, but the two of them were always closer to each other than to me. But
Hmm.
if you want to give it a shot, I say go for it. Although I don't know how easily you're going to get back to whatever cell she was put into or wherever she was put.
Hmm. Byrn will grin a little bit. I'm sure I'll find a
Oh no, turns out he gets locked up too.
way. um. Right. So, do we actually know where she is? Sorry, what were you saying?
Um, I'm gonna because he's the type of person that would do this. That little grin, and Oak is paranoid. Oak's rolling insight, and he has decently high insight because he's a paranoid person. Perception of yes, insight of also yes, though not quite as much. Um, there is insight. Insight's not as high as. Well, yeah, whatever. Anyway, boop.
um, Countering my confidence that I feel like I have a way that I could get in.
Well, I'm not countering the confidence. I'm just trying to.
See what I'm up to?
Yeah. See if that. See where that. I guess the insight is more leaning to trying to figure out where that confidence is coming from, because Byrn's been sort of a wallflower for a while because of where we are, and Oak saw how Byrn was, sort of social and figuring stuff out pretty easily before, and then we get here, and all of a sudden he's much quieter and much more wallflower. So that combined with the conversation prior to coming here, it's he's trying to basically get a read on that.
Okay.
So
I don't know if an opposed roll would be appropriate, but an insight of 23 is fairly high.
yeah,
Um,
is he trying to hide or disguise where the confidence is coming from? I guess is the question.
I mean, no.
Okay, then
I like if it's just like, am I actually confident or am I like cheesing through my grin? No, I'm definitely confident.
okay. Like confidence is legitimate and whatnot.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the
So confidence is legit.
okay. So he'll just basically follow through with what he said a second ago. It's like we're not entirely sure where they took her currently. We can assume a cell, but we're not going to necessarily be sure of where. And yeah, you're sort of left at that. And Oak is from a distance, well, not from a distance as in far, but he's not wanting to encroach on like doggo therapy with Locke over there.
Right.
Dog
Right.
therapy.
Say, oh, could you hold on to something for me?
Okay.
I pull the bow off my shoulder and sort of hold it and look at it longingly for just a moment. It's probably not a good idea that I go about this with a weapon like this. So could you sort of keep this and not flash it around until I return?
Okay.
So I will give to Oak my oath bow to hold on to. Probably not the best thing to be sneaking around with.
Well, yeah. Although I mean,
Okay.
you can. Was it it's a heavy crossbow?
No, it's a longbow.
Oh, it's a longbow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I can never
I think
remember.
I think it's a longbow.
I can never remember which kind of bow it was.
I didn't fill it out. If I knew, I didn't fill it out. But anyway, it's not a crossbow. I do know that much.
Okay. So basically, it's not very easily concealed.
Yeah.
um.
So
Yeah, sure. Okay.
all right, and I guess since it would look sort of strange if I didn't have a bow, I'll also hand him the quivers of arrows that I have. And thank you. Do try and keep it safe.
Well, I'm not. I'm pretty sure we're not going to go anywhere for a while. So.
Right, of course. So thinking out loud to my head, how can I? Um,
Internal monologue, go.
let's see. So I guess first thing would be, do I know where any of the guards are that came to capture her? Any
Um,
that were on the map that we're looking at by chance? Do I know where any of those are?
technically, with the way that she was pulled into the back, some of the guards that had been assisting in that endeavor to bring her to the back would still be where you can see them. As far as those that had, it's still pretty early with regards to when she was pulled to the back,
Mm-hmm.
so um, you don't necessarily have any of the ones that were interacting with you, interacting with her directly at that time. But the ones that came
Mm-hmm.
out to assist are in front of you. There are people that would know where she is near you. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the key point
So
there.
yeah. So I would like to go up to one of the one of the guards that would have been present if I recognize them. If I have multiple choices, whichever one looks like they're not having the worst day and or is the friendliest looking. You
Would
got to pick your targets.
that be an insight roll technically?
Probably.
Yeah, go for it. Insight.
Mm, right, alphabetical.
Ignore that dice. It's okay. Um. So, yeah. You will find one of the guards. With an insight of 16, he seems to be uh, a little bit on the younger side compared to some of the rest of them. Not like super young, but if
Right.
the if the majority of paladins are in their 30s, he's in his mid 20s, kind of a thing. Um,
Oh,
and it would be a human, male, and yeah, he looks like
and you
he's
did say paladin.
yeah he's armored and has a shield and a sword, and yeah, he looks, you know, enough about religion and whatnot to know, yeah, he's probably a paladin more than cleric.
Cool. Um, so I would like to go up and not trying to be sneaky or anything. Just I'd like to kind of walk up and see if I can strike a conversation with them.
Okay,
Um, say, you look familiar. Do you have a minute?
sure. What can I help you
Um,
with?
I was really hoping to try and speak with our companion since I feel like she may be back sort of to her normal senses soon with the axes having been removed from her possession. And I feel like having good emotional support may be vitally important because, as your kind no doubt noticed when we came in, she had sort of a darkness following her around. And so, if she was in fact aware of these things and now is no longer under the influence of those things, yeah, she may need some emotional support. So, I was kind of hoping for permission to go and speak with her.
Okay. Um. Well,
And I
I
can leave all of my weapons or whatever wherever you deem fit. There's nothing weird about this. I just am genuinely concerned for my new friend.
that's an admirable trait. Um. I don't particularly know the state that she is in right now, whether or not you would be able to talk to her, but sort of looks around at the other guards that are nearby. Try and roll persuasion. Oh, geez. Okay.
Unless we are to be hurried off for some reason. Honestly, we have all the time in the world because we would really like to be able to leave with our friend. But she's going to need to rebuild that trust in herself even before she can stand again. So, if we're not leaving without her, I have all the time it takes.
All right, all right. Follow me. I'll lead her. I'll lead you to her cell in the back.
Right? I bow graciously and follow.
Okay. Okay. So.
I'm assuming at this point she's still out.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is entirely too early for for
Anyone to be talking to her.
anyone to be able to talk to her, unless somebody was to use like a cure wounds to literally cure her to wake her up. But
Where's my backstory?
I could, but I've seen how she's like, ooh, sparkly, confusing. So, also, she did technically tell me not to touch her, although
Yes.
I have rain cures. I don't
You
know.
do. Anyway, and she only needs
Question.
one hit. Huh?
Just because I need this out of character. How long has it been since we technically started? Has it been like a year or so?
In game, it has been probably just it has been over a year. Yes. Technically.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I need.
Although from Riven's perspective, Riven's perspective specifically, it's been longer
Yes. Okay.
for reasons that you know, of course.
Yes.
Magic
reasons.
Yes.
Confusing reasons.
So, other just like with Locke, who's like, I'm 17, technically 16 because of Fae BS. Riven is in the same boat, just not Fae.
Right.
No,
So-
she's with her escapades. She is 30.
Oh, I know
Right
she's
now.
older. What I'm saying is,
Okay.
what I meant from that
Time
perspective
shenanigans.
was time shenanigans. Locke is
Oh, yeah.
like physically, Locke is 16,
Younger looking, but
younger than he actually is, and then Riven is the other way. Riven is physically older than she should be, technically. But anyway, moving on. You are still out, so unless Byrn does some shenanigans, you're probably not going to wake up.
well, if he does come see her, I'm assuming they pretty much took on all of her gear, so she's just like, her fitted sleeveless shirt and then like pants, no
Yeah.
boots,
Yeah, you don't.
and
have,
she's just laying out on the floor,
You're-
chained up. That's it.
They gave you a helm onesie.
no.
No,
Uh,
no, dear God, no,
Emblazoned pajamas.
no.
no.
You
Oh.
would definitely be.
It's just like if she wasn't wearing her armor, this would be her normal day, like average
Clothes.
work
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. You would be in your normal clothes, whatever kind of normal clothes you have, and you are unconscious, but you are still, as you mentioned before, you are still technically chained to the wall, or maybe to the floor, because they don't necessarily know what you're going to do when you wake up. So,
So just out of character, how long? Like how much? Like can I move around in the cell and still be chained to a spot?
yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, all right,
You
that's all I need. Thank you.
You're probably I said wall first, but I'm gonna say you're chained to the floor, but you have a little bit of give in the chains to be able to, actually stand and move around, and so that you're not stuck in one spot.
Okay,
Um,
that's all I needed to know.
so you will be led to where you will see an unarmed Riven unarmed, ungeared, Riven, um, unconscious, and chained to the floor.
I'm assuming the guard that led me.
Yeah, the
What-
guard
what-
that
How does he act when we arrive?
the guard that led you there, he will speak to someone that they have as a guard for where she is currently, and he'll just say that uh, one of her friends wanted to come by and see to her or speak to her, and there's a brief back and forth that's basically, well, I'm pretty sure she's not going to be waking up for a while, at the very least, and you're free to hang around if you want, but roll for me perception check.
Okay.
23. Okay. You do see that there are other. This is a section of cells that's sort of further away from all the others. It's sort of not necessarily an isolation cell because that has a different kind of connotation to it, but it is an isolated cell.
Right.
And there were a few, not very many, but there were a few people that were imprisoned as you were walking along. And you will see various different individuals in chains. It's early morning, so some of them are awake. One's asleep there. There's like two or three. And you'll have people that are not guards and not paladins or clerics that watch you as you walk past where their cell is. You just sort of pick up on that as you're walking by with your perception of 23.
All right. So if I was to get to where Riven is, am I far enough away from them that they're not going to necessarily see or hear unless we're loud, or?
That potentially would be tricky. Although, you could ask that once you're here, the guard that led you here sort of walks back out to where his post was. But you could potentially ask the guard to step away if you wanted to speak privately. But as far as out of earshot just from where his post is, no, not really.
You said I would not be out of earshot from the guard's post?
Not from where he's posted currently. You would have to ask him to, like, I want to have a private conversation. Could you step away, please?
Gotcha.
And then he
Gotcha.
would get out of earshot, but still within visual. So, yeah.
All right. So I guess when he leads me up to her and says it's going to be potentially be a little while, could I trouble you for a chair?
Yeah, I can do that. And he will sort of. It's not really a chair. It's more like a stool, but it works. And I don't mean necessarily
Lower back support. I'm already sensing this. Anyway, go ahead.
right. Yeah. In order for you to have a chair, they'd have to actually like go and get one, and he's not going to leave his post just for a chair.
That's fair.
So, but you do have some place to sit to where you're not standing, or maybe to support yourself in some way.
And sorry, about how long is this time passage since the actual confrontation?
Not very long, because Locke was still headfirst in puppy and upset, and she had just been pulled away, so for conversation purposes, you're looking at maybe 20-30 minutes, if that.
Gotcha.
Not very long at all.
So, can I tell that? Let's see. Can I tell that she's stable even though she's unconscious?
That would would be, because it's from a distance specifically, that would be a medicine, technically.
Okay.
I don't know if
Just to kind of see if she's like in agony or if she's just resting.
Yeah, she's just resting. She's asleep, basically.
Okay. So, I suppose I grab a seat. I would not necessarily sit in a way that I'm facing directly at her, because that might be awkward. But sitting somewhere that obviously whenever she rouses, she can see that I am present. So maybe facing perpendicular to herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull out random little junk from my pockets and play with it for about an hour. I don't have a bag of random books, so
Yeah, you're not Cad or Wesley. Byrn doesn't really keep stuff on his person.
he has some stuff, but his stuff is more like significant and not like random.
Yeah. His stuff is more practical and functional, and not just like bleh.
Right. So let's see. I'll just randomly pick. I pull out my my ring and just sort of. What's that little trick where you like flick your fingers in time and the thing like rolls between your fingers or whatever? Yeah, I'm doing that with my ring.
Oh, I know what that you're talking about. Okay.
Good
Normally
risk
it's
is mine.
kind of used with like a big coin.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I'm not good at it, I'm sure an hour's practice makes me better at it.
All right. Okay. So, hey Byrn.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Yes. How about you roll me a d20?
Sure.
This is straight d20.
Damn.
Why are you getting?
I have no idea.
Because
That means something bad is gonna happen.
Because they don't really matter currently, because that's why he's rolling so... Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's 2 nat 20s in the last 4 rolls
Yeah. Okay.
for those at home.
So, Locke, question for you.
Yes.
How long... How long are you facing Puppy?
I don't know. I'd say maybe like 10 minutes or so, maybe a little less.
Okay.
Like Locke needs to let some shit out, but he's not like crippled for a day or anything.
Right, of course.
I'd say like 10 minutes.
Okay. So, are you going to do anything specific when you step away from him?
Well, when I'm done making Hollis damp, I'm going to look around and shush. I'm going to look around and is the blacksmith whose name I do not remember anywhere within sight?
No, not within sight from where you currently are. No, he's in. He would realistically, he would probably be in his forge right now, but you sort of
he has a normal job.
Yeah, we would establish that we had established that to be talking to him in his forge was out of earshot of everyone else. So I imagine to have your little confrontation was stepping away from the angle to be able to look into his shop. So you can't see him, but you know he's probably in his forge. You also don't see Byrn currently.
Where'd Byrn go?
He went to see if he could spend some time with Riven and perhaps help her talk or vent, is what he said.
Alright. Okay. And I'm gonna give Hollis a few pats on the nose, and then I'm gonna go and drag my exhausted ass back to the blacksmith.
Okay. Sounds like something went down out there, he says as he bangs onto something on his forge.
You could say that. Yeah. How much have you heard?
Um, Mostly the whistle to call the guards and chatter of people who were upset. I didn't really get clear words from over here.
Yeah. Locke is gonna just thump his ass down back in that stool he'd put out.
This temple's all about its stools, not chairs. Anyway,
Chairs, stools, whatever.
I mean, yes. Anyway,
Yes, we have great backs because you gotta work out and carry heavy armor all day. It's a lot easier to sit down on stools than it is in actual chairs.
Either way.
Logic.
Plunk my ass down. Yeah, so some things escalated in a way I was not anticipating. Right, how about I just give you the rundown?
I do know that after it was all said and done, one of the guards came through and handed me off those to do with something.
Those?
He points off to the side where he has the axes currently laid. He's the weapons person. So do something with those.
Those. Those kind of kick-started the whole thing. My 2 cents, destroy them if at all possible.
Might be hard if they're magical, especially if they're capable of corruption or cursing.
Oh.
Never going away.
Regardless, those rotten things are kind of the catalyst behind the entire commotion that was just out there. How about I just give you the rundown?
Sure. You look like you need to talk about it, so go for it.
Probably. Those axes, we found those in the hoard of a shadow dragon. And, in retrospect, in hindsight, probably should have realized that, holding those things probably wasn't a good thing, given the horde it was a part of, but we'd never fucking met a shadow dragon before, and there was a lot going on at the time. And she just kind of picked them up before any of us had a chance to really suss out how yay or nay they were.
Alright.
Pretty much after she picked them up, it began this really slow but noticeable deterioration. She started getting more aggressive. Sometimes there would be situations where I know she wouldn't normally resort to violence or killing someone so swiftly, where she did. And the behavioral patterns are only one thing. There were also physical changes. She was always pale, but she started getting ashen. Eyes.
Ooh, I like that word.
Ashen.
Yes.
It matches gray as ash.
Yeah.
Eyes sort of clouded over. Bunch of different voices started talking as she spoke.
That's not good.
Oh, of course not. And just a whole bunch of other shit, including just a constant necromantic aura following her around. I don't know exactly what those axes do. I am aware that they apparently they helped her fight better, for one thing. Like, she was definitely stronger in a fight than she was previously, but it was clear that it was doing something terrible to her the entire time. And under any other circumstance, I would have been first in line to say, get rid of those damn things, get rid of those damn things. But Riven isn't the best with magic. She has a hard time understanding it. So trying to explain what it was doing, especially since I couldn't properly identify the damn things, was tricky.
I could imagine.
Doesn't help that she's stubborn as a brick wall.
Hey, she's a brick house.
Stubborn as a brick wall, has the temper of an ox, and the intelligence of a bag of hammers with the awakening spell cast on them.
Jesus.
Wow. Jeez.
Okay.
She's a great friend, but at this point I just need to be blunt. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking to a brick wall. And that's what made this so stressful. because I didn't want to, like, force anything. I wanted to convince her, but when someone's that dense, it's really hard to make any headway with words alone. And then it all got to a boiling point right outside. Honestly, not even sure why I'm regaling you with all of this. I guess I just need to vent about it for a minute. Just bury my face in my hands.
Well, I can say that for someone that does seem to be so young, you do have quite a bit of maturity about you. It takes a lot of courage to step up to a friend like that.
I had to grow up very, very quickly. I'm very conscious of it.
What was your name again? I don't think you ever told him. Did you tell him your name?
I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. You would have introduced yourself at the very beginning if you did.
Well, first off, before I give my name to this guy, can I roll an insight check just to see if I get any vibes whatsoever of any kind of ulterior motive anywhere at all?
Go for it. No idea at all.
Well then.
Byrn, you stole all the D20s. Or the 20s.
Give them back.
Locke. My name is Locke.
You're very loyal to her. Would you agree?
She's my best friend, and I owe her my life several times over. Loyal is an understatement. I'm loyal to all of the friends I have. Fought tooth and nail to get them, and I only have a few.
Do you have a family?
Yeah. Kind of a broken mess of one, but yeah.
Would you say you're loyal to
Back
them?
home. Of course. I fought tooth and nail just to get my dad out of prison, even though I'd never even met the man.
Did you have to tell that?
Do you recall what he was in prison for?
I know for a fact that he had been in there way longer than was due. Like, yeah, my dad did commit a crime, absolutely, I'm not denying that. But it was a crime where, from all of my understanding, he should have only been in that cell for a few months. And he'd been in that cell for near enough as long as I'd been alive, as far as I remember at least.
So
Because
prison
of some
sentence not-
because of some corrupt strings pulling and a lot of spite from an asshole higher up the chain. He'd paid for his crimes several times over already.
Oh.
And I just wanted my family back.
So you know that he paid. You know that this individual paid for his crimes against your father.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I was talking about my father paying for his crime.
Oh.
Out of character, I don't even remember if it was Noro or not who was responsible for my dad being in that cell for so long.
Not entirely Noro, but partially, I think.
I think Nora was a connection
Mm.
between the people that wanted your dad kept in jail and his connections to the warden, I think.
Yeah, I think the warden had a lot to do with it, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I recall that I threatened someone who who was like reluctant about the whole thing and knew it was fucked, but was just going with it. I guess I don't remember. It's been a long time. That was years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so, well, if your father was put into prison unjustly, at least with regards to the sentence, and then you released him out of your loyalty to protect him, or to help him, that's not terrible. Sometimes people get corrupted. It's not a good thing, but it happens.
I was born in Seven Nora. I could go on for hours about that.
Would you say you're the honorable sort?
I don't make promises lightly, but when I do, I try to keep them, if that's what you're asking.
Would you kick a person while they're down?
Not flippantly.
Would you hurt someone that didn't deserve it?
Not willingly. And even if I did, I'd go out of my way to try and make it right. Or as right as I could.
Locke, roll me a persuasion. With advantage.
Okay. With advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's hoping I roll good. 16.
Not terrible. Okay. I'll make you a deal. You came here for your friend's sword. He
Yes.
points to Silver's sword.
Yes. She's in danger. She's being held unjustly and against her will, and I mean to get her back.
Would you assume? I would assume then that your friend that you're going to save is going to make use of that sword when you find her.
It was hers. I should think she'll probably make use of it.
I have that sword and I have other swords here. And your friend, the one that you had your argument with previously, your other friend, she is going to be here for quite a while, probably. Based on what I had heard about how those axes were affecting her.
Is the intent to just, like observe, make sure she makes a recovery, or is this incarceration, imprisonment?
Largely the first one. We can't know what she would do or what she is capable of outside of what the X's influenced her to do. Depends on how deep that corruption's went. But we're not going to harm her, and we're not going to keep her if we deem that she is okay.
Alright.
And we got plenty enough strong, holy folks to be able to figure out for sure if she is okay.
How long do you imagine she'll be here, if you had to make an estimate?
Honestly, that depends on her. I can't promise an estimate in good faith. But what I can tell you, and he will go to essentially, the sword was like up high and in like a case.
Mm-hmm.
And he will use something that's sort of very arcane in nature and very fancy, and he will bring Silver's sword down. He basically makes like an arcane lift elevator to bring it down from the high above to where he is.
Delivery has arrived.
Yes. What I will do is I will promise to you, on my honor, that I will give you not one weapon from my stock, but two. You can get Riven's. You can get your friend's sword here, and whatever other weapon in my stock that you think your friend that's currently trapped. Well, currently unconscious, I should say. There we go.
There's
Whatever
also
weapon
another friend who's trapped.
you do technically, but he doesn't know that. Well, he does. I think you told him previously. But anyway,
I did mention young, yes.
so I can promise to you that I can give you your friend's sword here, and whatever other weapon this formerly cursed friend of yours would want.
Riven. Her name is Riven.
Riven. Now, your friend's sword and a weapon from my stock for Riven.
That is incredibly generous, if you don't mind my asking.
But you do have to do one of my trials.
Of course. I guess some small part of me was expecting that was, for some reason, not a thing anymore. Forgive me, I was being foolish.
No. You see, don't necessarily misunderstand. I can give you Silver's weapon. I can give you your friend's sword. I've already brought it here. But if you want another weapon, a good one, for your friend Riven, you can do one of my trials.
Some small part of me tells me that that's something she might need. Not the weapon, but the trial itself.
If you want to wait until your friend wakes up so that she can try the trials, along with you, that's fine too.
I can run the idea by her at the very least. I've dictated enough of the things happening to her today.
Well.
So, out of character, just to be clear, he's just giving Silver's sword?
Yep.
All right.
What he is doing, effectively, is he is counting the conversation that he had with you just now and the conversation that you had with Riven previously as a trial. Because normally a person has 3 chances to a team of people has 3 trials that they can choose to take.
Right.
Win or lose, they can get an item from his stock. Or, well, win a trial and you can get an item from his stock. But you're only allowed to try a trial once. So,
Right, I remember you talking about all that.
So, effectively, a person could walk away with 3 items if they did all 3 trials and succeeded. Or, a person could walk away with 1 item and only have to try 1 trial. It's entirely up to them. But as soon as they fail all 3, they're out of anything.
Right.
So, he's effectively counting this one in your conversation with Riven as an extra trial. He's giving you Silver Sword, which is the one you wanted, for free. But because
Gotcha.
you didn't do quite so good on your persuasion, he can't, in good faith, give you a sword for Riven, or a weapon for Riven, without a trial.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, he hands the sword to me, I take it?
Yep.
Quick, run!
No. Locke will just sort of look it over for a second.
I'm telling you, if Locke ran, this guy would just go, hold person. Give me that.
Locke will look it over for a second. One step closer.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't Riven's sword a great sword?
Silver's?
Yeah, was Silver's sword a great sword?
It was technically a bastard sword.
Oh yeah, so Locke can't pick
So
it up.
it can be a one-handed or used one-handed for 1d8 damage, two-handed for 1d10 damage.
Didn't it have a strength requirement to use?
Let me pull up her sheet. If I have it on there. Oh, it's a long sword. Never mind.
Okay, it was a long sword.
Flame tongue long sword.
It's the same thing as, technically, within D&D's context, according to what I'm reading here, a bastard sword and a long sword is the same thing.
Yeah.
So let me see.
I don't think there's a strength requirement for it.
Not in 5th edition. They've probably done away with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright. So, it is fairly heavy, but for all intents and purposes, Locke could use it. Locke could hold it. But he's not going to be able to swing with it because he's not proficient in that kind of martial weapon, I don't think.
Probably not.
Anywho, because Warlock and Sorcerer, you're not going to be proficient in martial weapons. But yeah, there you are. So, if you're going to do anything else,
I guess I'll give a very respectful nod of my head to the blacksmith. Thank you.
make sure you go out there and save your friends.
Pretty much ever since I started traveling with them, that's been the only thing I've been trying to do. Save them or help them. It's pretty much my life now. I'll tuck the sword under my arm and turn and go to rejoin the others, I guess, if there's nothing else.
Well, not anything else from him unless you want to say something. But by rejoin the others, you mean rejoin Oak. He's the only one there.
Right.
Well, and Hollis.
I'll head out. I'll rejoin.
What would Hollis be doing at this point?
Whining and being like, what is going on still?
While Locke was in talking to the blacksmith, when Hollis was starting to whine, I'm not going to play it out because that's NPC conversation with myself. But Locke will hear as he comes back Oak chatting with Hollis because speak with animals. Because Oak has that, I believe. Pretty sure he does. I think he's used it before, way back when. Yep, he does. Okay, thought so. Because nature cleric, yay!
Yay.
Anyway, so Locke, as you return to Oak and Hollis, you will hear a brief barking and yipping and maybe even whining kind of conversation between the two of them. And essentially, Oak is trying to make sure that Hollis is at least vaguely understanding of the situation, in that Riven is dealing with some stuff right now, but she is fine, and she is going to be back very soon. Like talking to a child. It's like, Mom is in the hospital right now, but I'm not going to tell you that because you're 7 years old.
All right, so as I approach Oak, I'll be like, so remind me, which one of us has the bag of holding?
That was in Riven's gear.
What?
That was in Riven's gear.
So now the guards have it.
Yep.
Ah, right, okay.
I mean, you can go and ask them to, like, hey, can we have our friend's gear since she, like, doesn't need it at the moment?
I guess I'll approach one of the guards, and who is like in that confrontation. I assume they're around.
You'll
Excuse me.
find the same one that Byrn talked to previously because I'm lazy. Anyway.
Hi. Quick thing. My friend Riven, the one currently incarcerated. One of her possessions was a bag of holding. Would it be possible for us to get that back?
You say as you're coming up carrying a massive sword.
Yeah.
This is heavy.
Very unwieldy for your small 6 strength person.
I am 5'4", I'm pretty sure. I am as tall as Margubler. Yep, 5'4".
Yep. He'll actually chuckle a little bit. Give us a moment. We can bring you your bag of holding if that's what you need.
Thank you. And while I'm waiting for that, I will sit down, set the sword next to me, and go for the ender pouch, and I will look for a response from Azza.
Oh. Nope.
Ooh.
Nothing?
Nope.
She has been slayed.
Not a thing.
Frustrating. Then I will pull out the communication tome with my family, and I will just write in it, "Everything sucks today," and close it and put it away.
Before you get any kind of response, it's just like, this sucks. Bye.
Pretty much.
Still alive. Bye.
You're going to share your anxiety.
Pretty much. And then I will wait for the guy to come back with the bag of holding.
Which doesn't take terribly long. He will eventually return.
Alright. And once I've got that, I will just put Silver Sword in there.
By the way, Riven, or technically Sam,
Yes. Yes.
do you have a page of what is all in the bag of holding?
I do.
Is it like separate from your gear, or is it on your character sheet?
It's on my character sheet.
Okay.
If you go into my bio, you'll see bag of holding.
Okay,
That's all in there.
That's convenient. Thank you.
I use those boxes too.
Okie dokie. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And I guess once that's put away, I'm just gonna find somewhere to sit with my back against a wall. Gonna look up. Alright, you picky bastard, I got the damn sword. Next time I get there to try and help her, you better not get in the way. And then I'm just gonna go quiet and wait for something to come up. Wait for an update.
Alrighty.
Lightning strikes you.
What?
No. Alright.
No, I genuinely didn't hear what Sam said.
Oh, I said,
She said lightning
all of a
strikes
sudden,
you.
lightning strikes you.
Well, we do know, of course, that lightning does tend to hover around Helm's temples. It happened with Silver, so it's fine. So
I'm pretty sure at this point Helm is well aware of the fact that Locke does not like him.
Yes.
don't remind him of that. Then he might get hit by lightning. Anyway.
And he'll make sure that you survive so he can hit you again.
Nah,
Another one.
It's called justice.
No.
It feels
Fine.
good.
Called
Any-
spite.
Anyway. So there's a reason spite and smite are almost the same letters. Anyway.
Basically, God deciding to be petty.
So, yeah, you're going to sit and wait, and that is what Byrn is doing. He's just doing it near Riven's cell.
Yep.
So, Riven, are you going to go for a full rest to get full health, or are you going to wake up in, like, an hour or two? What do you think?
She'll wake up at the designated hour, but she won't move much.
Okay. So if you're gonna wake up an hour, you can roll. This is gonna be the first time I've had you kind of roll these sorts of things. It's gonna count as a short rest. So, you can roll however many of your potential hit dice to give yourself some HP that you get when you wake up.
Or you can just hit
one-
the short, or you can just hit the
one-
short rest button.
Oh yeah, that too. That's a thing.
We have one of those now.
Yeah, but one hit point is
Oh, okay, fair enough. So
But the moment that she actually everything comes in focus for her, and she realizes she's in chains, she starts freaking out on the chains and just pulling at it to the point where it's the chains get taut at her wrists, and she just does it repeatedly over and over and over again.
So you're going to have her revive with no more excess than 1 HP, and you're going to do this and do 1 HP of damage and fall over.
No, this is more ecstatic as
Panic.
she's not. It's not a full panic. She knows what she's doing, and she knows what's happening. I'm not gonna say anymore.
So I don't
But yeah, she's sitting there making loud noises with chains.
I think I don't think she would be. She's conscious and aware of what she's doing, and where she is. But I don't think she's consciously aware of potentially who's around her, because it's
Yeah.
all that's going to be around her is going to be guards around the cell where she is. So, what would she need to
She
worry
doesn't
about?
care who's around her right now.
Yeah,
She's
that's it.
more focused in the moment of herself.
Okay.
So she wakes up and immediately starts going ham on her chains.
Yes.
That is not easy to speak to.
No.
That's the idea.
not.
Yes.
Well, do I have anything? Do I have
Hey,
to
you can
touch?
do calm emotions again. Whoosh.
That's kind of what I was looking at, yeah.
Do you really want to try casting spells in a prison?
Actually, what is the components for calm emotions? Verbal, semantic.
Verbal
Or
and somatic.
rather? Okay.
Is it touch?
No.
No.
Okay.
So you could, and you could try to hide that you're doing so, or you could and you're just doing so. Up to you. But it's also worth noting that you're in a temple filled with clerics that are and paladins that are gonna know that spell. So
Right.
realistically, the people in your vicinity are going to be aware of precisely what you're doing, even if Riven's not.
So how remote is her location if everyone in my vicinity knows exactly everything I do?
Well, no, I meant every possible guard that could be near you at the time would know what you're doing. Is what I was getting at. There's only one guard that is near you that you would have to be talking to know that. But I said it wrong. I should have said that the one guard that is near you would know what you're doing. Because there is one guard near you.
Calm emotions is not exactly a let's bust you out of here thing.
No, it's not.
Although the first thought that came to mind was enhance ability.
I think that one requires touch, though.
Yeah, I think I have to tap him.
Yeah.
So, could I get some sort of inkling of the nature? Is she mad at herself? Is she trying to get free so she can leave the cage, or can I get any sort of insight on that?
I imagine that would be insight. Yes. 27. Yeah. So
She's in a manic rage at herself.
Upset at herself.
Yes. Like, she's gone into a rage.
Oh. Yeah, you can do that without any gear, so yeah.
I cast Mending on her soul. No.
Oh. I think it's too many pieces for that.
We'd be here. You'd need to cast that 6,000 or 7,000 times.
It's a cantrip. So it may seem weird, but I actually am kind of tempted to not interrupt the rage.
Well, technically, the rage wouldn't last. Rage wouldn't last for very long.
It wouldn't last very long, yeah.
Yeah.
How many rages do you have, Riven?
I think that's my last one.
Okay, then yeah.
So I think I went into a rage during the battle, and then I used it now.
Yeah.
I have to use a long rest to get it? Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Her ragey at change, actual rage at change, it's all of 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think I would sort of give her the space to get it out of her system.
Then she'll just go and collapse in a corner. If she can reach a corner.
Almost.
Yeah, okay.
She'll almost collapse almost in the corner, leaning on the chain.
I'm assuming that you're...
No, it's pretty much she's trying to get far away from, the actual bars.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking, too. So, you're basically going into the furthest away from the bars that you could potentially be towards a corner in the back of the cell.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't imagine the cells are going to be that big, so...
No.
Realistically, you're going to be probably still within 10 feet of Byrn, but far away from the bars, theoretically. If Byrn wanted to do something that would require a minimum of, or something like that. Anyway, so.
Okay.
Yep, so she stops raging out on the chains and then goes and collapses as far away from the bars as she can potentially be.
So, obviously, I have stopped playing with the ring that I was piddling with. And has she looked in my direction at all, or was she pretty much focused on chains, focused on corner?
I don't think she actually cares. Like I said, she doesn't care who's around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a chance that she might know that you're there, just she doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
I
It was just
imagine-
more what I have noticed her noticing that I was there and not caring that I was there, or would I have noticed that she never looked in my direction or whatever. I don't want to break
she
the
wouldn't
silence.
actively look. She wouldn't actively look around.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
So she's probably not aware that you're there at all.
she's in her own little world.
Making this awkward.
Yes.
So I guess that I'll sort of reposition on the stool, getting it to sort of on the floor slightly. And I'll just mention, whenever you feel like speaking, or if you feel like speaking, I have time and I have the ears. I know you'll probably need your space, and I respect that. But I also know that you'll need support. So anything that I can do, if that is
You want something to do?
sure.
Fuck off. And that's like the last words that she'll ever say to you.
At least
Well.
for a while, probably.
Well.
It's gonna be some very long, awkward silence.
Probably. This is when we need to roll like a masks move and be like, what do I have to do to get your character to talk?
Well, I mean, my original thought was literally to be as patient as it takes, but yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you never leave and you don't say anything, then realistically, eventually, the awkward silence is going to have to be broken by her. If she doesn't want you there,
Kenneth?
if she doesn't want you there, she's going to have to say, "Get out of here," again. And then if you don't leave, again. And again, and again, and
Well, she didn't so much tell me to leave. She didn't really act like she cared that I was there. It was just like, screw you.
I mean, yeah. But
So I suppose he will go back to playing with his ring for a little bit, and it makes annoying little ding sounds as he passes it back and forth between his hands. So it's not exactly silence.
hey, it's you were passing that ring along for a while. Never mind. So yeah.
So
We're on a standoff.
Pretty much.
So if I literally continue doing this for the next 30 minutes, what is result?
Nothing. You are dealing with an antisocial person here who's going through some shit.
Right.
If she doesn't trust you,
I know that.
and you think that you can get her to talk and
I kinda
open up to you,
I kind of do. That's obviously out of character, but yes, I kind of do. I just feel like there's so many ways that are going to be like, awesome, roll this, and I'm going to roll bad, and it's going to be like, okay, well, I'm out of ideas now. So,
How about you roll for me another d20?
I have ideas of what to say, but there's currently zero conversation. So, I mean, I could monologue.
You could. Okay.
Oh no, the axes are attuning to me through time and space, and
You're
let's
fine.
see. Okay, good.
Alarming.
I feel so relieved. With the DM's
red
heavy
flag.
roll, the curious dice. Oh, you're good. So I'm assuming after 30 minutes, it's still the same silence. Nothing's changed from Riven's point.
Yep.
So I guess he would attempt again to break the silence. And Byrn will say, the only way to really get back on your feet is to come to terms and find peace with everything that's happened. Everyone has things that could have gone different or could have gone better, but you need to remember the things that should be focused on. You have friends that care. We're not going to leave without you. We're not going to give up on you. So I respect you can take all the time you require, but understand that I do mean what I say. I will literally wait until you are ready to say something.
If you feel like that denotes a persuasion check, Sam, I'm willing to let him roll it. But
Sure.
if you don't think
Let's
it's
see
going
if
to
she
do anything,
see if she responds to that.
roll persuasion.
I've already come to terms about things. And you just waiting there means you're just friend. Nothing's gonna happen with you waiting there. I don't know you. I don't trust you. What makes you think that I'm going to sit here and open up to you? Which is foolish of you. Friends? You're gonna wait around and want me to be with them and stuff? They're going to fucking die. They all died. So, your best luck. Just leave me alone. I don't want to see you. I don't want to even hear you anymore. I am done. And you are pushing buttons that you should not be pushing.
So you would be content to end your journeys with Locke.
Yes.
He's wronged you so harsh that you would not forgive him.
He didn't wrong me. You think he wronged me? What makes you think he wronged me?
He's not going to give up on you as his friend, and you just said.
Well,
that
that's
to
his
wait around on
fucking
you
problem.
is foolish.
No, you waiting around for me to... No, I know, I shouldn't be fucking talking to you. I don't want to talk to you. You know nothing about me, and I know nothing about you, so just fucking keep it that way. Now please, leave me the fuck alone. I'm tired.
She's already mad, so let's click a thing. No real pomp or circumstance. Byrn mumbles a couple of, well, I guess it wouldn't be arcane words, a couple of whatever. And, yeah. So that's... Do I actually have a button for this? I might actually have a button for this. This is Mass Cure.
I don't know why you're doing mass cure when you only cure one person, so okay.
Because spell slots, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you could...
Well,
Also,
you can't cast a lesser spell at a higher level.
Right, but some of those spell slots I also am reserving for other things.
I mean,
You just cast mass wounds at level 5. I mean, you can sit there and cast a smaller level at level 5 to take that level 5 spell slot.
If I had them prepared, yes.
No, okay.
oh, okay. That's fine. Okay, that makes more
Preparation!
sense. Alright.
Yeah, that was the only cure spell that I currently had prepared. That's why I was asking how long did we have? Could I swap things? No, I couldn't. So,
Also,
yeah.
you don't have healing word?
Not prepared. What am I going to heal someone for? And if I needed to heal, I have
I
this.
thought healing word was a cantrip.
No,
Is it?
Or is it?
It's not.
Oh,
Yeah, go. Yeah, I mean,
What's
to be fair, what reason would he have to prepare a bunch of healing or harming spells when we were going in today? We thought we were going to be talking to a blacksmith, and that was it. then all this
Ah,
happened.
good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does that say sneak? Oh, ignore sneak. That's stupid.
Well,
Yeah, you failed on the sneak.
you did.
Clicked a thing and things did not happen.
I don't know what the heck that is, but okay.
It's an attempt at a link that failed, I think.
It's
I think you tried to click on one of my things, but it's my thing, not your thing.
Anyway.
But yeah, so Riven is mysteriously innervated for about 14 hit points, whatever that means.
Okay.
You now have 15. Yay.
Ooh.
Again, I didn't announce it. I just sort of.
Well, of course you're gonna have to announce it because it was like local, but
Well, that's what.
Because it was what?
I don't know. But Riven doesn't know what you're casting, so.
Yeah, he's just
not even
murmuring
aware.
whatever
He's
the.
just-
But she
Incantation.
knows that that spell had an effect on her, right?
Oh yeah.
Probably.
You probably see and feel slightly better than you were a second ago. You are maybe not necessarily aware of who cast it, because with you wanting to just be like, get out of here, you're probably not paying attention to anything that he does, so if he mumbles under his breath and waves his hand a few times, you're not going to notice.
Yeah.
But yes, you would feel... I mean, you've been cured by magic before, by oath, if nothing else. So...
Yeah. So she knows when she's. Well, of course she knows.
Yeah.
She can tell she's been healed.
Might not know
She's
where
still
from,
not
but
happy.
you know you were healed.
She is not happy.
No.
She's
Yeah.
just not happy.
Yeah. So Byrn magically says the perfect thing right now.
Go for it.
Wish. I wish.
The question
No,
that
but
I have...
Do what?
The question that I have is there a perfect thing?
Honestly, there is a potential progression happening. It's just very slow, but that's to be expected.
Confidence, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm assuming she realized that she can just totally ruin your attempts if you continue to try.
Ruin what it is.
You to get her to talk to you.
Well, yeah, of course.
Basically, she's able to, after a while, similar kind of dialogue, similar kind of awkwardness.
Oh no, it's still straight to the point. She will call for the guards.
Right.
I do not want to see any visitors. I don't want to see them. I don't want to deal with them.
Right. But we're not at that point. Yeah.
No, but the moment that you start talking again, she is going to call for the guards. Because she does not want to deal with you. Like, there is no trust for her to, like, have the benefit of the doubt to listen to you.
I guess this is two varying degrees of stubborn.
Yeah. It's like I've got my ace in my hand, but if I play it at the wrong time, I waste it.
But she could call a guard and the guard could make you leave. So.
I mean, this is true.
So what's it going to be?
Way too much pressure. Now, of course, Byrn in character is cool and collected. He's thinking, but he's cool and collected.
Of course.
He's still flinging the ring back and forth and all.
Part of me is thinking that maybe Byrn wasn't the best choice for this.
He wants to be, desperately.
Yeah, I understand that he's trying to help, but just like, she is shut down with herself, and she doesn't want to deal with you. She doesn't trust you.
I mean, being that shut down, does she want to deal with anyone? Really?
Depends on who you throw at me. Figuratively speaking.
just like grab Oak and throw him against the silk.
Grab
No,
Locke,
Oak
throw
can't
him
fit through the bars. Throw Locke.
I mean, I won't fit through the bars either. I'll break against them.
I mean, you're skinny as a rail. We could just turn you sideways and throw you through. Yeah.
I assume these cells are meant to also contain creatures like halflings, which I am larger than, so that wouldn't work.
Anywho.
So, I guess after thinking for a moment and choosing his wording, Byrn will speak up one more time. I know you're feeling low, and I know that you have no reason to trust me. What if I were to betray a vulnerability of myself to you? Or do you have any way that you think could start to earn that trust from you?
I don't care anything about you.
But
If
do
you give
care
me a
about Locke?
secret, I don't care about secrets. Now, I've asked you as nice as I freaking can right now to leave me alone.
Right.
Do you
He'll
think?
just
Do you
sit
think?
there in silence.
Huh?
He'll just
He
sit
goes
there in
silent.
silence.
It's like
Insert however much time skip you wish until Locke is curious and finds us, or what have you. I'm done.
okay, wasn't finished. Okay, I guess we can skip to.
I mean, yeah, sooner or later.
I mean, I was sitting there like going on about stuff, and it was just like, nope, silence, done.
You can still do your thing.
Yeah, you can still do
Well,
your
he
thing.
sat there and said, just do this time skip and stuff. Just like,
I mean, he's not interrupting you. He's just being quiet. I didn't myself, the person in the chair, did not know you were still going. I'm sorry.
sorry, I have to get my train of thought again.
I recall that you said you don't care about secrets.
That I've asked as nice as I freaking can, and yet you want me to trust you, to respect you, but you won't respect the fact that I want my space. So do you really think you're actually helping me right now or making things worse? Because right now I will blatantly tell you, you are making things worse.
I have given you space since I came in. I
Yes.
could probably sneak you out if I needed to. I could.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. Honestly, it just... I can call... If I wanted to, I could yell for the guards. And beg them just to take you away from my space.
You could. But as I leave the hall, you will remember that we will be outside of these walls waiting on you. Our intention is not to leave you.
Then how do you know you're not? The fact that you're not... The fact that you won't go and actually do the task that we set out to do originally. So you rather his other friend to die while you all are just sitting around waiting on me. When I told you I do not want to leave. And I do not want to talk.
To be fair, I don't really know Silver.
Yeah, but Locke does. And he wants to go rescue her. So do you think... What is it that he's going to do?
The angry word.
Why don't you go tell him that I do not want to leave the cell and see what he does? At least that gets you out of my vicinity. Ow, my brain. Big word.
She did make a valid point, said the voice in the sky.
Byron will stand up and gently scooch the stool closer to the wall so it's less in the middle of the walkway there. If that's what you truly wish, then fine. I will respect that wish. But I have been with you just long enough to know that though there was the heated discussion between the two of you, he's not going to leave you for the same reason that he fights for his other friend. So, whenever you wish to talk, you may choose whomever you wish. But if you choose to keep it inside, you know as well as I do, you're going to stay the same. You may feel like that's okay for right now, but at some point, you need to realize that other people care about you and that you should care about yourself as well.
I think at this point she'll actually go up and move towards the bars until the chains are taut, so she doesn't exactly reach the bars.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with things for the past 3 decades. Nothing you can do will save me from my nightmares. Nothing you say or do will bring back my regrets. I've gone and asked for guidance from a freaking god, and I got nothing. I went and bolstered my strength to protect my friends, and I succumbed to it. What makes you think I want to leave this cell when I have nothing left to give? I am saving you all from my freaking cursed life. And she'll turn back away and just go back and as far as she can and just sit down and just like not have her back towards the bars.
So her back is towards the bars or not?
Towards the bar.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
faced
okay.
away from bars.
Making sure I heard that right.
So, yeah. So, that is something that we can agree on. You don't wish to leave presently, and you can most likely not foresee a time when you would like to leave. But, as you said, I agree. Who am I to change your mind? If even a god could not give you assistance, how am I to? Really, that answer needs to come not from myself and not from a god, but from yourself. With time, you will meditate over it and you will realize that your place is not in these bars.
No response.
Fair. So, keeping to what he did say that he would do, Byrn slowly walks out.
I have to say, why did I feel like that there was almost some sort of like a mic drop in there somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah, but from who?
I don't
Yes.
know. That's why I said it that way.
I feel like you both kind of had mic drops in there.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I honestly, I mean, that's why I said there was a mic drop in there somewhere, because I can't figure out who.
Both? Two? There's two of them.
I mean, two, yeah, both. They both made some very valid and very strong points. This is not a conversation between two, like an introvert and an extroverted phase. This is a conversation between two people that are stubborn as brick walls, but for different reasons.
Yep.
So yeah.
I'm assuming Byron is able to casually walk out, no issues.
You can leave and do whatever you need to do. Roll me perception as you leave, though. Cool. 22. So one of the other prisoners, kind of small, covered in rags. You can't quite get a good look at their person. They're very like haggard, and their visage, their whole persona and face is all kinds of messed up. But they are small in stature, and they will follow you in they're not chained up. They're like able to move around their cage fairly freely, but the way that they move and the amount that they move is very minimal. It's it's almost like there's a like Lord of the Rings Gollum of some sort in one of the cages, and he just sort of follows you as you walk past. Um, yeah. But anyway, you're heading
Doesn't
that.
say anything to me,
Nope,
or
doesn't say anything. He just watches you and follows you as you leave.
Small stature. Do I know what kind of race or what kind of anything?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's very you assume something like a gnome or maybe even like a goblin of some sort. It's really hard to tell. Their features is like bruised and messed up. They've either been like some kind of physically manipulated, or they've just been like beat up a crap ton. One of the two. But somewhere between gnome and goblin, probably.
I currently have 0 healing spells.
Yeah.
Alright. Well,
He doesn't say anything. He just follows you.
alright. I guess I just sort of silently take notice and continue out then.
Yep. So, with that, how long do you think that awkwardness took you to?
Uh,
How many long awkward pauses?
approximately a minute. Sound good?
Yeah, I would say 5 minutes.
Okay.
More.
Okay, so let's just round it up and say a good, 8 or 9, 10 minutes, somewhere in that vicinity.
So I waited for total elapsed time, if that's what you're going for. I waited an hour before she woke.
Yeah.
And then I waited briefly for her rage to sort of subside. A little bit of dialogue for a moment, and then 30 minutes of being patient. And then some dialogue. So total elapsed time would be like an hour 45. Or
Hour 45, 2 hours, something like that.
yeah, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So, with that, Locke, how long are you going to wait around and not ask around?
That is a fan-fucking-tastic question. I assumed that by the time Byrn would be coming back up, Locke would be done sitting around, and he would now just be pacing anxiously, like all around the courtyard or wherever we are.
Yeah, probably.
Like, he doesn't want to, like, overwhelm Riven right now, so one person at a time is enough.
Fair enough. So you're anxious, but you're not going to do anything specific.
He is waiting for an update. It's like waiting in the waiting room of a hospital. You got nothing to do except wait for the doc to come out and say, hey, here's how fucked you're gonna be.
Yeah, okay. So
I guess a counter question. Is Oak okay waiting this long?
I mean,
Does he
yeah.
like find Locke? Or?
He's I think in his like on some level, Oak is just sort of watching Locke pace, and then about like 15 minutes into it, he's like, okay, no, and he just quits watching Locke pace. It's like, that's just gonna make me nervous, and I'm just gonna and he's going to be, you know what? Oak is actually going to cast a thing. Oak is going to cast Sending.
Ooh.
And he is going to attempt to have a conversation, if he can, connect with who he's wanting to call. Now, the question that I have specifically, anyone who has potentially hidden knowledge of this can contact me to tell me so, because I know that there's some kind of hidden knowledge of this. I know we sent Khal to go to talk to person to help with the axes, but we also haven't been in contact with her for a long time. So
She went to the southernmost city, right? South of Caberton?
That's the last thing I recall. That's where the last place I remember hearing her being.
That's a fairly long journey, but we've also done a little back and forth and trying to put the clues together and then over the ocean forever, and yeah.
Yeah. So, I was under the impression that she was going to take a time to try to find the person to help, because they could potentially be a little bit harder to find. Even though you may know the town they're in, they may be hiding somewhere or something.
Someone should let her know, at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think through all of his shenanigans and issues, Oak is probably going to take this time to try to get in touch with Khal. Because he should have been doing that, and he wasn't. Largely because Oak is the type of person that hates to deliver bad news, or worse news, or something like that. And it was Khal telling Riven, if she got worse, tell me. Not her telling Oak to tell her that.
That's the thing. She has no Riven has no way to tell her, like, hey, I'm getting worse.
Right, exactly. And since that's what I'm getting at, that conversation happened between Riven and Khal specifically, and Riven never shared that with anybody. So all Oak has to go on is, I don't want to share bad news to this person who I know cares about this person, that they're getting worse. And then he sees all this go down, the tipping point happens, and Locke stepping up and getting some courage and being like, okay, we got to tell her straight up, something's wrong. He sees that. He sees Locke going back and forth, anxious and worried. There's nothing else better for him to do. He's going to call Khal. So, we'll get with that in a minute. Byrn, you're going to come back.
My intention, of course, was to rejoin with Locke and Oak. So is Oak's thing going to be timing-wise after that, or...
Oak is going to bring it up afterwards, yes.
Okay, so he's doing it during, but he's going to discuss it after.
Yes.
Gotcha, okay. So yeah, after I leave, I would thank the guard that let me in on the way. I don't know if there would be any significant RP there, but I would thank him for the time. It was a necessary. It was necessary.
Yeah.
And then I would try and locate Locke, which statistically, if I stand still, he'll walk past me.
Pretty much.
It's like that scene of I'm suddenly reminded of that scene in Steven Universe where Pearl was facing back and forth. It's like, we'll never find Steven. We'll never find. Oh, hi, Steven. We'll never find Steven. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you will return.
Go ahead.
Yep. Go ahead.
So I come back to a pacing Locke and Oak trying really hard not to lose his marbles.
Essentially, yeah. There also might be I don't know. Sam, is Hollis the type that would just be following Locke as he's walking back and forth?
No, he's just like laying down with like sad puppy face.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That makes more sense. I just wanted to add a little bit of comedy with the tension, but that makes more sense. So yeah. Locke, you will see Byrn return. Hooray.
How is she?
She's very low. Spirits and such. She is being exceptionally hard on herself, which I think is partially understandable. She has regrets and she has things from her past that even that before did not reveal, and that's fine. But it's obvious and apparent that there are things that are shackling her beyond just those axes. And I think it's the sum of everything is weighing very heavily on it. So I hope you don't mind. I sort of leaned on the friendship that's very apparent between you two as trying to coax her into speaking. I feel like if she can vent and get out whatever she has to say, I feel like that is the first step towards her being able to accept and heal and move on. And I sort of spoke for you that you would care about her well-being and would not want her to just remain here by herself. Her desire is presently to be left and basically forgotten.
Let me try.
You can if you wish, but be careful. She is like an injured animal right now, and you need to keep in mind, no matter how biting what she says, you need to take it. And that may be difficult because you just went through the other half of what she just did.
Taking biting remarks?
It may
Tell me something that I... Next time you warn me about something I'm not intimately familiar with. And I'll pat Byrn on the shoulder and walk past him.
Fair enough.
And I will make my way to the guard.
Make him away. Anyway. And sort of as you go back towards the guard lock, you'll hear Oak speak up. It's going to take her a long time because of where we are currently, but she knows where we are, and Khal wants to come. Khal is going to try to get here as quick as she can.
All right. Going by boat would take a while. Kind of wish I could remember the teleportation circle that we bamfed to, but
I mean, that's possible. If we could get the rune for
Khal's the one who can do the tree thing, right?
Yeah, she can, but she has to know the tree she's going to.
Right, but like if she had an extremely good description or like a good drawing or something, would that work? Would that be sufficient?
I knew I was going to go there.
Let me check the spell.
I know they sat there and like Critical Role. They kind of got way around it because they used like a scrying orb.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to know if that's like a thing you can do in the spell natively.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because like my idea is like if you have like a really good description or a picture of it, I'd like take just the best damn fucking sketch I can of a tree like in this courtyard and put that into like my family book and instruct Khal to go to Yukiegi, look at the tree there, and then bamf.
Your parents are going to be like, why is there a tree drawing in here? Do you need to come home? Have you finally broke?
No, I have found the way. I am a druid now.
Do you know the way?
I'm the circle of the flaming fist. That is two completely different classes.
He's even better than that. He can make the way. What level is that? Locke's special bog?
6.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always get it mixed up between tree stride and transport via plants. And
It's via plants.
yes, the tree stride and transport via plants is basically like Misty Step and Dimension Door. One has a much further distance for a less specific thing, and the other one is wherever the heck you want. You just have specifics. So, the description for transport via plants is you must have seen or touched the destination plants at least once before. So the only thing that would work is a scrying orb because it says seen. So if you was to have, I think, druids can do scrying.
At a certain level? Maybe?
Yes, druids can do scrying. And it's of less level than the transport via plants is. So since we know that she can do transport via plants, we know that she can do scrying. So effectively, Locke could through. This would be way too convoluted.
Oak would be like, I need to go find an oak.
Yeah. Oak could be like, and Oak isn't quite high enough level to do. Wait, yes, he is. I keep forgetting what levels he can do in spells. So Oak could do sending on Khal, ask her to then scry on him when he's near a tree, and then transport via plants to the tree. Boom.
I figured that's what Khal would have told him. Be like, hey, go find a tree.
Yeah.
That's.
So.
I think that's pretty much all she would say. Like, go find a tree and wait.
Alright, so, before you. That's exactly what it is. Before you leave Locke, as you're going back towards the thing, he will say.
Quick rewind to redo some continuity.
Slightly, yes. The description will be instead of Khal is coming as quickly as she can, it's just going to take her a while. Oak will go, Khal's coming. Tell her that Khal is coming. I gotta go find a tree.
I gotta go find a tree.
Alright.
Everyone's confused, like, why?
I mean, he knows how she got here before.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I will give Oak an appreciative nod. Alright. I'll head down, I guess.
Yep.
Assuming, of course, I get, like, the guard's escort or whatever.
Yep, you'll have to get a guard escort, but yeah.
Alright.
You'll eventually find Riven's cell, like Byrn did.
And you also see the creepy being.
Creepy what?
Right.
Creepy thing.
The creepy thing that was following Gar.
You,
Unless that was just something that Byrn's seen. Oh no, he's going crazy too.
Okay, so, Locke, give me perception. Give me a perception check.
Alright. Not particularly good at 11.
Yeah, no. Nope.
Alright. Alright.
So
So
you
I
make
will,
your way to Riven.
Yep. Hey.
Silence.
What was that? What was
Feel
that?
like, what?
Just wanting to make sure you're alright.
I'm fine.
Are you lying?
Yes.
Thought so. Already more progress than Byrn. Locke will, he'll just sit down. Like, on the ground, not even on that chair. He'll just sit down cross-legged on the ground across from Riven's cell.
I figured Riven is at this point is just like laying on the ground, just staring up at the ceiling of the cell.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just like,
So, Byrn gave me the rundown on how your chat went.
no response to that.
Is it true what he said? Do you really just want to stay down here?
Yes.
How come?
I'm just done. I can't do anymore.
As a, just so you are aware, Khal is on her way.
Oh, the gods, no, 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 please, no. She'll, like, get up and get us closer to the bug, like, please, please, please don't.
I had no say in the matter. Oak was doing it before I even came down.
Oh, please, don't, just don't let her see me.
Riven,
I can't.
Riven, calm down. Take a breath for me.
I can't, Locke, I can't.
Easy.
She's at this point, she's crying, and she just goes to her knees and is crying. It's just like...
Do you need a hug?
Kind of hard to do.
She, like, moves the shackles. It's just, no. I've had too many failures. I can't see her. I don't want her to see me like this. Please don't let her see me.
Riven, that's not my call to make.
Yes, it is. You can stop her from coming down here.
But don't you think she has a right to know?
You don't think I have a right to say I don't want to see her?
Then you can tell her that yourself.
I can't. Because in order for me to tell her that, she would have to be standing where you are. And she would see me like this. Look, I've had... Because all she's gonna do is try and protect me. And I can't have any more people trying to protect me. I've lost so much from people protecting me. I have nightmares about it. I relive them. But I really mean it. I can't continue on. I can't. Because all it is just everyone's going to try to protect me, and I can't protect them.
If I may point something out to you. Up there, earlier, when all of that happened, with the axes and our little disagreement and all of that, that was all of us trying to protect you from what those axes were doing to you. We're still here. And so are you. I don't say that to try and make the losses you have gone through seem less. I know you've been through a lot more than I could ever begin to imagine. But if there's one thing I know about you is I feel like sometimes maybe you latch on just a little too much to the things that have gone wrong, and it blinds you to the things that have gone right.
If I could, I would show you my memories, the nightmares that I have. So you can understand what I'm going through. What's always haunted me. I couldn't... The fuck?
Don't worry about that. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
They get lost.
Where the fuck am I?
Hey, it's not survival.
Where am I?
It's not survival, it's investigation. Plant stride requires a specific kind of tree. He's in a forest.
Anyway.
Oak runs out into the forest. Gotta find a tree. Gotta find a tree. Gotta find a tree.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
Fuck
not
are all
that
the
hard.
trees?
It has to be a big enough tree.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway.
No.
The problem is
Anyway,
this is an island. I'm not entirely sure if trees grow big. Anyway, moving on, sorry.
Of course there's trees. We were camping in trees. Anyway. Well, not in trees, but around trees, I think. Who knows?
You did that episode 2. You camped in a
Yes,
tree.
I remember that. She did camp in a tree. She was lucky not to fall off.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, emotions, come back.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it's funny. It's a very Oak thing to do.
It is.
Anyway.
I couldn't even get the satisfaction of avenging my hunting party. All because of that stupid little goblin girl. Thing, hobgoblin, whatever she was.
Twitch, Hobgoblin.
Twitch. And now I've watched them all die one by one when my town was attacked. I had to do something. And then I lost Khal. Found her again. And now I am broken and she's coming here to see me. I can't.
Look, you're right. Maybe I can't understand what you're going through. But
She's
if I
currently
may,
just staring out at space. It's just like something's replaying in her head, like actively. It's just.
I will use Mask of Many Faces to make myself look the way I did the day we met.
Ooh, interesting.
So
Which is
lose a
what
couple of
happened.
it. So lose a couple inches, get a lot skinnier, just caked in mud and grime, and just shaky all over. Hey,
What?
just kind of give a very small smile and then let the if the DM will allow it, let the disguise self slowly fade so that it's sort of like a slow morph from old me to current me, like a time lapse of the changes.
Yeah. That's super cool. I love it. Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot of change, but
Not a lot, but enough,
It's
especially
enough,
for one
yeah.
who knows to look.
yeah.
Thing is, Riven's smart enough.
Oh, she is.
Locke,
Yeah.
Locke was trying to make it very obvious. Again, I'm not trying to make the losses you've been through seem less. But we're still here, aren't we? I'm still here. After everything we've gone through, I'm still alive and kicking.
What would have happened if no one was able to stop me? I would have killed you, Locke.
It wouldn't have been you. Because I know you're not capable of that.
But it was me. The blood would still be on my hands.
But that's not how it played out. That's not what happened. We can't get lost in so many what ifs. Especially not about where we've already walked. It could have gone worse, but it didn't.
I was doing it to try to protect you all. And I succumbed to it. What's not going to stop from it happening again?
Well, for one
This-
thing, you
this-
don't.
Here in these chains, and she's like actively like angrily rattling them against her wrists. This is going to stop it from happening again. No one will die trying to protect me if I am here.
But at the same time, if you're stuck here, then the rest of us are going to be without your company.
That's fine.
Answer me this, and think about it hard before you answer, please.
I will try. If you see steam, run away. No. Anyway, she'll sit there and say, like, she'll just slightly nod.
Is it more that you want to stay here, or more that you feel like you have to stay here? Is it your desire, or is it your obligation?
I feel I should just stay here.
That doesn't answer my question.
That is the only answer I can give you, is that I feel I should stay here.
Well, the way I see it, we pursue our obligations to either satisfy or enable us to pursue our desires. I'm all the way out here pursuing the obligation of getting Silver's sword and rescuing Young, so that I can rescue all of my friends and make sure they're all safe. That is my obligation. My desire from that is to go back to Yukiegi, sit down in my family's house, in the library, with the knowledge that my friends that I've made on this damn journey will come by every so often, and just stop for a while. I put on a brave face a lot of the time, but I am maybe just as tired as you are. We basically haven't stopped moving for over a year. You longer than that, given your time on the Shadowfell.
Much longer.
Yeah.
Before I even met you. Always moving.
Well, maybe we both need to stop and take a breath then.
I have stopped. I'm here. In this hill. I'm stopping.
That is an option, but for your own sake, I would not advise stopping here. I would advise stopping somewhere warm. Cozy.
Is this warm?
It's a dungeon cell.
I'm out of the elements. I've lived in the elements ever since I was a kid.
Okay, my point stands.
This is like a 5-star hotel. Whatever a 5-star hotel means.
My point is... My point is that there is not a lot of personal satisfaction someone can get sitting in a cell. A cell is a place of containment, penance, punishment. It's not a place for living. So, I know you're worried about losing people trying to protect you. And I saw the lengths you were willing to go to in the name of protecting the rest of us. But again, I say, we're still here after all of this. And we're almost done. We have the sword, if you can believe it.
You have the sword.
Yeah, it kind of makes everything that happened upstairs seem a little pointless in retrospect, doesn't it?
No, that's a flat out sentence. Like, she corrected you as in, you have the sword, not we.
Well, yeah, the blacksmith grilled me on a lot of things for a little while, asked a lot of probing questions. I guess he liked how I answered.
Did you tell him the truth?
I did. There were some questions that I had to be vague about simply because they weren't things I could answer with definition without speaking in poor faith.
Oh, out of character. I wanted to point something out so bad. But I can't.
Right.
Well, that's you. So.
And he's made the offer to furnish you with one weapon of your desire from the armory if you decide to keep traveling with us. Whichever you want. Assuming, of course, one of those stupid trials has passed.
I don't know what to do anymore, Locke. I don't. That's why I just stay here.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. I would never dream of that. I've seen what happens when people force your hand, or try to. It ends badly, Oak.
But you tried forcing my hand earlier.
I did. And I want to make it clear that I am sorry for that. It's not something I did lightly.
You did what you had to do.
That's the only reason I did it. Because it was either that or watch those things keep eating you alive. If it is truly your desire to stay here, then I can't tell you no. None of us can.
Look, I am very much broken. I can't. And I plead with you. I can't do anymore. I ask that you make sure that Khal doesn't. I can't face Khal. I can't.
All I can promise is to make sure your words are conveyed. But if I can't force your hand, I can't force hers either.
She just goes and at this point she's just completely broken down, just starts weeping she is very much exposed and opened as much as she can. An image of a very broken person.
I will, is the guard not too terribly far away?
No one's asked him to, I mean, he's not eavesdropping, but...
Well, can I wave him over?
Yeah.
I will do so and move to meet him about halfway. May I make a slightly unusual request?
Sure.
If it is permissible, I'd like to be led into the cell for a moment.
Well, I think he'll do that.
Alright.
So, Riven, you, broken down as you are, you will hear the rattling of the keys and of the lock.
It doesn't lift her head.
I figured. I just see like the camera focus on her and down, and not focusing on the fact that in the background there's the rattling of the chains, or of the bars, and creaking of the bars. You in?
Alright. As soon as I'm in, I'll just walk up to Riven, get down in front of her, and give her a hug.
The reason why mine went to slap her. No.
No!
Snap out of it.
No, that is not Locke's way.
I feel like Khal might do that.
I'm prepared for that.
But yeah. Locke just gives Riven a big hug.
Roll comforter support. Wrong game. Anyway.
She doesn't fight or anything with it.
Whatever you've been through, whatever you may think of yourself, just know this. You're my best friend, Riven. I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for you. I owe you more than I could ever possibly imagine. I'll able to protect you because I believe you're worth it. And everyone else who fought to protect you before probably felt exactly the same way.
I don't want you to die trying to protect me. You don't deserve that. You have a family to go back to.
Very few people deserve to die when they do, or how they do. Very few of us even get the option to choose any part of it. But as long as I have a say in the matter, then putting my life on the line for those I love is more than worth it. Because without all of you, I'm nothing. I sort of give a little squeeze and then withdraw from the embrace. The blacksmith said you're probably going to be down here for a few days regardless, if only for observation, so just to make sure nothing of those axes are left in you. So, we won't be far.
I have to go save Silver and y'all. Can't wait around.
And if you're dead set on staying here, we won't. But we'll at least make sure Khal is with you first, because you don't deserve to be alone. You went through that enough. Get some rest. And with that, Locke doesn't really have anything else to add, so he'll withdraw from the cell. Excuse me.
She doesn't have anything else to say. Just
I will nod, thank gratefully at the guard, and then depart the dungeons, I guess.
Alrighty. And you'll head up.
Did anything of note happen that Byrn would have seen while I was down there?
Whale.
Oak just
I
running
saw a
around trying to
whale.
No.
A whale falls on us.
So, investigation of 5, Garrett. And then investigation of 12 to effectively find an appropriate tree, and then transport via plant. And I don't think the conversation with Riven with Locke went for more than what we had here, which was like 20 minutes.
It went for a pretty chunky length of time. There was a lot of back and forthing in that.
Yeah. So
Like, I was trying to be conscientious of how long the conversation was taking because I figured that Khal would be running along any moment. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just all of a sudden she just pops up and just Riven goes like, "No,
fuck, you had
my
one job.
my failure."
So it's I think eventually Khal will be making her way in there.
Oof.
And
I'm keeping a very close eye out for her to intercept when she arrives because, Locke did promise to convey Riven's words, and he's
Yeah.
gonna fucking keep that promise.
yeah. And Oak was there, and Oak has high enough perception passively to catch in on the conversation that you had with Locke before you went inside, and hearing that she was low, Oak is going to have told Khal that. And I think Khal knows Riven extremely well. But I, as Game Master, do not. So the exceedingly important factor here is
What would Cal do?
what would Khal do, and Khal would do what Riven needs, not necessarily what Riven wants.
Yes. So eventually she will show up.
Yeah.
And Riven will probably break down again, cry and stuff. And Cal will try to comfort her. That's how I see it going.
Well, either way,
Like, Riven won't push Cal away. It's just she's internally dealing with the fact is that her significant other is seeing her in a point of failure again.
And Riven, or Khal, is not even gonna ask for
To be let in, oh no.
no. When she gets there and she sees, even from a distance, that Riven is the way she is, mouse through bars, not mouse, Khal, hug.
Yeah, just tears.
Well, either way,
You tried, Locke. You tried.
She's got to get here first. So
And she does. So I don't think Khal's gonna rush in. Not until she actually sees her.
right. So
Um,
do I catch sight?
you would, yes.
All right. I will lift a hand and sort of like a flag her down.
How is she?
Not good. Not good at all. This is probably the lowest I've ever seen her. I think I can count on one hand the number of times I've actually seen her crying. She, was not in a good way when she learned you were en route.
Of course she wasn't.
Yeah, she's very much unhappy with the idea of you seeing her in her current state. She basically begged me to make sure you couldn't. I know better than that. I'm not going to get in your way. But that's where she's at, so please be careful, alright?
I'll do my best.
I feel like at this point you're probably the only person who can actually pull her back from this.
Gods, I hope so. And,
Good luck.
you can have the confidence to talk to anybody, but some people you can't get through.
Right. And ultimately, he walked away, but he said what needed to be said.
At least what he believed needed to be said. I do feel like, just on a surface level, I feel like Locke made a lot more progress there than you did. No offense.
Well, I wasn't trying
Yeah,
to...
it was a whole bunch of, like, trust thing. Like, I understand you were coming through the point where it's like, oh, Locke had this whole situation go on with her right now. There's probably some raw emotions going on right there. It's probably not a good, idea. Like,
Yeah.
But it's just like she's known Locke for so long and is friends with him.
Right.
She's just a party companion with you. She met you while under effects of the axes.
Yeah.
And forgot me at least once.
Yes.
Yeah. So Khal will do precisely that I described earlier.
All right.
Bippity boppity boo.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't think would it be need hug from Khal?
Hmm?
Would Khal, knowing what Riven needs versus what Riven wants, would Khal run in and hug like I said, or would she run in, go in,
Probably.
okay. So yeah, Khal will be given the direction to where Riven is, see her in the cage, or the jail, however she is, and then mouse, 3 bars, hug.
And once again, she's just broken down. It's just like she can't she can't hold it in anymore. She's like
Yeah.
just releasing it.
Fuck it. Crying time.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So that's just gonna be like resting until she like pretty much passes out from crying so hard.
I mean, she only has 15 hit points.
Each tear is a hit point.
No.
Though I don't know how the guards would feel if like just Khal just all of a sudden just like disappeared from view and turned into a mouse and went into the cell. How they would react?
I mean, they know what
Like-
drugs are.
Yeah, but the fact is just like kind of get an alarm instead, be like, oh, what are they doing?
It would be an alarm.
And I doubt they would want them to stay in the cell for long periods of time.
I
Be
think
like, yeah, no.
I think what it'll be is Khal will turn into a mouse. She'll get through the bars. There will be that jerk of alarm for a bit, and then realize that there is crying and there is hugging from both, by the by. And they'll sort of ease up on that until they calm down. And then after Riven passes out from crying, which wouldn't take very long, comparatively,
Okay.
It would be Khal sort of stands up and sees the guards, and it's just, yeah, I know. And the guard will indicate for her to come out, and she will, but she won't go very far. She'll sit on the same stool that Byrn set against the wall.
Everyone else is sitting on stools.
I ignored that stool. I sat on the floor.
But yeah, that's actually, yeah, Khal will sit on the floor too.
No, jeez.
And yeah, I think that can be our ending, and we can sort of figure out what kind of conversation Riven and Khal will have, and whether or not we want to have that on screen. And me making sure I don't say the wrong thing like an idiot, because I'm up, by the way. Anyway. Because I will say, hearing that Riven didn't want to see Khal, but not fully grasping need versus want, Oak is not going to feel good for himself for a little bit. Not as long as Riven is, mind you, and not quite as bad. But this is the same thing that he felt before, where he messed up. So,
Long as we're here, just out of curiosity, Locke's various points and arguments he made during that whole heavy thing, for one thing, out of character, your take, and in character, what was Riven's take? I'm just curious, because I had to do a lot of mental gymnastics to conjure up some of that.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do.
Just yeah. I feel like she does understand what you're trying to say, but with someone who has like PTSD from a past traumatic event, she's gotten hyper fixated on like trying to protect, like mama bear protect gotta like and stuff, but the losing people of people who try to, the fact that like losing people actually started when she was like very young, when she lost her mother.
Yeah, see, Locke doesn't actually know that part.
Yeah. Which, out of character, it's like, side note, it's like, this is gonna, that whole idea of just like, how one thing that she said is like, how she wished that Locke could see her memories to see the nightmares that she goes through. And stuff, so to like understand, it's like, yeah, she has a hard time explaining things in words.
I mean, I will say, if there was a way to do that, Locke would volunteer so that he could understand.
Yeah.
Um,
So. But, yeah, there's like the whole things that go on through like her life that she has dealt with. But it's like the major things of like her having a family and friends and stuff, and it just...
Yeah.
She's constantly lost them. That's why she's like always so cold and antisocial, because she doesn't really want to make any more friends, because she doesn't want to lose them.
And then Locke came in and was like, "Hi, I'm stubborn too."
Be like, "Fuck you, dude."
But
I gotta protect you.
But she did go. But she did go on record with Cad before he left that she was grateful for it.
Yes.
I forget her exact reasoning and wording there. It's a while back.
Oh yeah, it was.
I'm going to see if I can't concoct me a way for us to have that spell, or a version of it.
What, a dream share spell?
Well, there's a dream share, bleh. Shared dreams is critical role. And I don't want to necessarily use critical role directly. Plus,
no. You already have something to help with that.
Oh, we do?
His patron.
This is true. Yeah.
His patron does many weird things unexplained, and we just blame it on like, oh, he's just an outer deity.
I never considered the idea of him punting me into someone else's dreams. I always thought it was just a weird form of pseudo-astral projection he did that started when I was...
No, well, the thing is, the only reason I remember that is because you went through the same thing with that one dark elf that was having memories or something.
You did.
And you took the view of that person.
That was time travel. That's a bit different.
There is actually something that literally does exactly what you're wanting to do.
So it would be technically like time travel, but you'll just be jumping to different points in time.
It
but
does exist,
yeah,
yes.
It turns out all your patron is just a giant clock tower.
But yeah, you remember when we fought the stained glass golem? We all had nightmares of each other.
That too.
The omnilet is literally made of that glass. And Locke would know that. And Locke is pretty darn smart. You could theoretically shatter that or get something out of that reverts it to possibly making nightmare fuel of companion.
My intelligence score is only a +1, so...
Okay, you're wise.
My wisdom bonus is +1.
Okay, you have plot armor. You can figure it out.
I am slightly faster than the average bloke, and I'm good at making arguments to get out of tight situations. Other than that, I'm kind of twinky.
All right. Anyway, we could get
He's just a kid. He doesn't have critical thinking yet.
I'm 17, and I rolled like shit.
So,
anyway.
oh no, it's like that.
we'll
Just
get
as like she like. The bottom line, she heard Locke. She's trying to understand and see, and accept his point of view and stuff. It's just she also has to battle with like her own internal traumas and stuff at the same time.
Right.
Like, it probably is a chance. Like, eventually, yeah, she does probably eventually doesn't want to be stuck in the cell all the time, but she knows that everything is safe to her. If she's in the cell, she can't hurt anyone, and that can kind of give her time to, I guess, quotation marks, heal at points.
Process,
until she's
maybe?
ready. Yeah, process is much better.
So out of character, in the event that we can't convince her to leave the cell, the idea I'm thinking is, go get Yong, come back, and see if Riven's ready to leave the cell yet. Because that would probably take us a good few days to work through.
Possibly, yes.
Alternately, you could talk to your patron and be like, "Yo, share a drink."
Or be like, yo, send me back in time. Show me what I missed.
That's true too. You could do it.
But then again, Locke would absolutely not do that without Riven's permission.
Well, your patrons sometimes be like, fuck her permission.
Yeah, but I'm imagining this is a scenario where Locke would, directly, call on Vindsvept to intervene and do this thing, with my weird version of divine intervention or whatever. But he would not even think to make that request or do anything with it unless he had Riven's consent first.
So the This Has Been Shadows can be Sam, and the Join Us Next Time can be Kenneth.
This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next time as we figure out what's happening next.
No idea at this point.
It was all just so much. It was all a lot.